Hello, mortgage fans. So, for this week's update, quite a lot going on actually. We've got at one end of the spectrum, banks really cutting down interest rates, and at the other end as well, the 95% deals they're starting to come back in as well. House prices are shooting on, and a fair bit going on in the money market. So, I'll talk about that in a bit more detail. But in the last week, it's nice to get back, see some real humans in an office. That was really nice. I'm sure many of you have been sort of trimmed, clipped, waxed, and all sorts of things to get you back in looking a bit more presentable. Weirdly, this haircut's actually a choice, so you can make of that what you will. One thing I'm quite interested in actually, please feel free to leave a comment, is what you're actually doing office-wise. Are you all going back in? Are you staying at home or doing something in the middle? We're certainly going to be in the middle sort of category. So I think people are going sort of 1-2 days a week, something like that. We're still quite a few of the teams that are not happy coming back because they're not being vaccinated, don't really want to commute and stuff like that, which I think is completely fair. So just really, really intrigued, really, not really mortgage related, but just interested in see how you're dealing with them. But far more in the mortgage sense. So sub 1% mortgage rates are back. The titan of lending, the Hinckley and Rugby Building Society, are coming out with a 0.99 variable deal on Friday. And it's for remortgages only. It's going to be sort of quite vanilla sort of business. But, if you fit that mould, then you can get a really, really low mortgage rate. As touched on the other end of the spectrum, so you've got Halifax now coming back in the 95% market. They're going to be market leading at, I believe, 3.73% for a 2-year fixed. Heard on the news this morning, NatWest are coming in and Santander said they're going to come in this week as well. So what you're probably going to see, is I've talked about it for many weeks now, is you're going to start to see the downward pressure in the 95% market, then push down if you've got a 10% deposit, 15% and so forth, right down to the other sort of sub 1% mark. So banks have been charging a very big margin for the last few months, real year, really, when you sort of think about COVID. So that looks like it's starting to come to an end with the base rate at 0.1. Even a mortgage rate of above 2% is sort of unusual in terms of margin. So that'll start to come down, not dramatically, but I think it will do over the coming weeks. Another stat which is really interesting, so a company called BuildScan, they've done some analysis to show that first-time buyers are now paying £73,000 more for a property than they were when lockdown first eased in May last year. Something I've spoken about a lot with house prices and what I've just touched on before. So as credit conditions ease, house prices are going to push up. Anyone that's looking to buy at the minute will tell you it's a seller's market. There's loads of people looking to buy, not much property around. The most simple market demand ever is supply and demand. So if you've got a huge amount of demand, not a lot of supply, prices are going to go up. It's pretty much that straightforward. I've written a lot about this and blogs on a website. Have a look at the mechanics of it, but it's really around when credit conditions ease, house prices go up. It's an undeniable link there. So in terms of market rates, they've all sort of edged down a little bit last week. There's been, sort of weeks and months of movement upward in the money markets. Funnily enough, lenders bringing the rates down show you that the margin isn't really anything to do with the wholesale market. Rates are still extremely cheap. So nothing's really changing in our position that if you've got a nice big deposit, now is probably a good time to fix for the long term. I don't think rates will get this low at that level. Certainly not if you look over a 2-3 year window. I think we're probably between now and the end of the year going to get to the lowest point around rates. But then I've said that a lot over the last 10 years, but I do think it'd be true this time. And in terms of best rates, so we'll put this all on the website, and if you're on the email list, you get this sent in a bit more detail. But the lowest rate on the market as it stands today is 1.05, but as I said at the top there, it will be coming down to 0.99 as of next week. We also had a bit of a revamp on our website. We've got a new large loan section, so if you're looking to borrow £1 million plus, probably some quite useful information there. So if this has been of interest or you want to talk to any of the team, please get in contact. We'd love to talk to you.